You can have a crush.
Not on your sister's boyfriend.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
It's
I'm
weird.
sorry.
Well,
It's in the girl code. Welcome to the Holiday Film Countdown. I'm Jamie Walter, and today we are going to New England.
That's right. This film is The Family Stone, our 42nd ranked holiday film. Hello, I'm Tim Walter. If Meet the Parents got together with Modern Family, sprinkled in a little Sex in the City, and made a Christmas movie, this might be it.
Maybe. Our first guest is Monica Williams. Hello, Monica. Tell us what you're drinking and give us a quick thought on The Family Stone.
Hi, I'm drinking Pinot Grigio, and the film was a little interesting. I liked the Christmas part, but the ending's a little, I don't know, not sure how I feel.
Still trying to think about it.
Yes.
All right, we'll digest that and dig into it. And our other guest is Tim Williams. Hey, Tim, what are you drinking? And what is your initial thought on the film?
hey, I am drinking McConauhaze. It's a hazy IPA from Twisted X Brewing in Dripping Springs. I've seen the movie before a while back, and I didn't think much about it, but after just watching it, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good holiday film.
Great.
And I've watched this movie only for this podcast. Like, I wasn't aware of it before then. And today was my second time to watch it. So I initially, when I first saw it, I hated it. Only because it made me cry. I think the story is great. I think the writing is clever. But it tugged on my heartstrings. And I'm drinking wine as well with Monica, Pinot Grigio.
All right. And I'm also drinking the McConauhaze Hazy IPA. Excellent, local, very good. And I'm going to let you know why it's in the countdown. It's primarily the major ensemble cast. And it's also here because Monica and Tim chose it.
The Family Stone was written and directed by Thomas Bazooka. He is a former fashion executive with Ralph Lauren and Coach.
The Family Stone was released in 2005. It was primarily filmed in Greenwich, Connecticut, and set in the fictional town of Thayer, somewhere in New England. We think Massachusetts because of the license plates and other elements, but if any listeners know, please comment and let us know. Diane Keaton plays the lead as the matriarch of the Stone family. It also stars Craig T. Nelson, Dermot Mulroney, Sarah Jessica Parker, Luke Wilson, Rachel McAdams, Claire Danes, plenty of names we know here.
Yes, Monica, what is your history with this film?
I saw it a long time ago, but as we were watching it, I didn't remember much about it, but I love Sarah Jessica Parker, Rachel McAdams. Mm-hmm. So.
And you, Tim, what's your history with the film?
I saw it a few years back. Like, I really am drawn to movies with a really all-star ensemble, and this movie does have a really great cast. You know, I'm a big Craig T. Nelson fan, and just the whole characters, I think they're great.
Well, like I said earlier, I have seen this movie twice. This was my second time tonight, and I do like the story, but it does make me sad.
Yeah, my history is similar to Jamie's. I hadn't seen it before we started screening potential films for the podcast. A coworker recommended this one and happened to be available, so we checked it out and then made the short list, and then here it is.
All right, let's check out the trailer.
America's top critics are raving about The Family Stone.
Brad, what are you doing here? Guess he got a taste of something he liked. Mom, could you not?
It's hysterically funny and touchingly poignant.
I'm just as good as any of you. Of course you are. Better, probably.
Destined to be a holiday classic.
You have a freak flag. You just don't fly it.
And Ebert and Roper give it 2 thumbs up.
Uh-oh.
The Family Stone, rated PG-13. Friday, only in theaters.
All right, I think after watching the trailer, it had all the funny parts that really, I think the trailer did its job for me. Just seeing that trailer, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm all in watching that movie. What do you think, Monica?
Yeah, I agree. It was a really good trailer put together well. Made me want to watch it.
Mm-hmm. It left out all the sad.
Yes, or the awkward.
Yeah, it was just the funny.
Could we tell it was a Christmas film by the trailer?
Yes.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, how could we tell?
There were Christmas trees, presents, and
Okay,
they were
the
all coming for
decorations.
Christmas.
Snow.
They brought it up.
Yeah, everyone coming together for the holidays.
It cost $18 million to make this film, and it grossed $60 million at the U.S. box office and another $32 million internationally,
Wow.
for a total of 92 million worldwide. So it made around $74 million net, quadrupling their investment. Very good. I can't believe it was only 18 million. The Family Stone has a score of 3.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, and we'll all give our own reviews and scores later. So what do y'all think about those numbers?
A lot of money. I don't know what the average movie makes, but is that pretty high?
It's definitely profitable. They usually cost more to make.
Right.
Yeah, 18 million.
That's a pretty low number.
That is a low number. But is 74 million net, is that high or is that average? I mean, for a movie I've never heard of,
It's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good.
I know.
Until
yeah.
someone's, you know,
If you can quadruple your money, you're going to make them all day long.
yeah, right?
Well, does that include how much they paid everyone? Because
Yeah,
you'd think that
'Cause
That's
they
the
would
main
demand
cost.
a lot more.
Yeah.
I know.
But I guess if you think about it, really mostly just took place in the house.
Yeah, the
I mean, there were a
setting
few.
wasn't too.
Yeah, that part wasn't expensive.
Right.
It's going to be the
The
cast.
talent, yeah.
Right.
And they're not, they're A-list, but they're not all at their peak, maybe then, at this
True.
time.
It was in 2005.
Yeah, so I don't see, maybe Rachel McAdams was peak at this time of this group.
True. Well, what do we think of the Christmas decorations that we saw?
There weren't too many. I liked the town, like the street, how it showed like lights. And that was my favorite part. I loved the New England area.
I felt like they were quaint, right? Like you kind of got a down home feeling. It wasn't like the Hallmark movies where the whole street is lit up with like Christmas threw up in the town.
Yeah.
You didn't feel that way, right? I mean, there was
No.
snow, but it wasn't over the top. It was just quaint.
Yeah,
I feel
even
like-
the bar only had like a few Christmas decorations.
Classy, just enough to know what's happening. Clark Griswold was nowhere near this scene.
No.
No, and I feel that I remember seeing one like overview of the main street and then the bar, but I think everything else took place around the house or in the house. So we didn't get to see a lot of the city and, some of the charm from all the decorations.
True. And there wasn't a Santa in this movie, was there?
No.
We didn't see Santa. Santa
No,
didn't
just
make
like a molded
appearance.
plastic one maybe in the bar or something.
Okay.
And there was a snow globe.
Yeah,
I do remember the snow globe.
the gift.
Yep.
Yeah, Christmas tree, ornaments, right.
Yeah, the
Yes.
tree at the end that they lit up. And what do we think of the snow in this film? Did it look real? How do we feel about it?
Yes, it did look real when they were sitting outside.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that football field, I didn't want to be out there.
I know.
Yeah.
With
When,
no gloves.
When Ben and Kelly were at the football stadium, it really looked cold, and that was a good emotional moment also, but you could just feel how cold it was out there.
Yeah, you could only tolerate that because of the heat of the intensity of the topic.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, the actors. As mentioned earlier, this is a true ensemble cast with at least 7 big namers. We have Diane Keaton as Sybil Stone. She was in all 3 Godfather movies. She won Best Actress in 1977 for Annie Hall, plus has had 3 more Oscar nominations. She was in Father of the Bride 1 and 2. What do we think of Diane Keaton in this film, and do you all have any comments on her from other films you've seen her in?
I like her, but I thought she was kind of mean in this, maybe like for her mom.
I agree. I typically like her. It wasn't, I thought she did a good job, I guess, with the role, but I didn't like her character.
Right.
Like the character was weird. She was mean.
She
like,
was mean.
She wasn't the warm and friendly to even her children, really. I mean, she had her different way about her.
Yeah.
I'm a big Diane Keaton fan. Her laugh, is contagious. I think she has a great smile. I think kind of counter to what you're saying, I felt for this movie or role, her character was a little different, but I think it may have been playing on some of the things that she had happening personally, and she wasn't just free and fun-loving like she may have been in some of the other movies. I think there was some internal acting based on what was happening.
So they don't reveal for more than half of the film what's
I know
going on
what's
with her.
going on, for sure.
So the first time I saw it, I couldn't stand her.
Yeah.
This time I knew it was coming, and I was like, okay, well, I'm trying to put myself in that place. She's on 6 months?
Yeah.
Is that where she is? End
It
of
seemed
life?
like it, yeah.
So,
Yeah, but she was a little mean in the beginning.
Yeah. She
Some
wasn't
death
that
looks.
accepting to Meredith
Right.
coming into the family, right?
yeah, and then her husband is played by Craig T. Nelson. His name in the film is Kelly Stone. I know him from Poltergeist, All the Right Moves, early 80s. Also, he was the star of the 90s sitcom Coach. And what do we think of him in this film?
I liked him. He seemed like a nice dad, like a good hometown dad.
Yeah, I think everyone got a sense that he was like the glue to the family, right? He was the calm and the crazy. He kind of got everyone, calmed people down. So I feel like he did a good job playing that role.
He tried to moderate everyone.
Yeah.
Because you had some strong personalities. He tried to be the steady ship in the
Right.
sea.
And it's not easy in that family.
No.
You know, I feel he plays that type of character. Like, he just comes across as this stereotypical, like, nice, great dad who, you know, has a deep conversation, but, like, he has heart, he has feeling.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate him as an actor.
I agree. He came across that he really deeply cared about his children and his wife and even Meredith at times.
I know.
Poor Meredith.
Yeah, he was definitely a little more accepting than the rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then when they had 5 children in this film, I don't know if we'll get to cover them all, but the one who stood out probably the most as far as screen time was Everett Stone, played by Dermot Mulroney. I know him from My Best Friend's Wedding, a rom-com, and I thought he did great. What did you all think?
I agree. I mean, he looks the part, plays the part well as the young guy. I don't know, the rom-com, I guess, or the drama.
Yeah, I liked him. He did play a good part. I didn't like what he did.
We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yes, but I did. He did a good job playing the role. Like, he played it really
Yeah, I agree. I think he did a really good job in this role.
He's the clean-cut older
Yeah,
brother,
Exactly. He's got the
Successful.
look. Yeah.
put together. And then we have Ben Stone, played by Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson's brother. He was in Bottle Rocket, Rushmore, Legally Blonde, Old School. He's one of my favorites. And he kind of played an Owen Wilson role in this film.
Yeah. But doesn't he normally play, like, these kind of roles? Of just kind of like the stoner brother.
Yeah, just kind of the easygoing, kind of West Coast guy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, I mean, he plays it really well. Yeah, I like Ben a lot in this. I think he was kind of the calming piece for Meredith, but for the family in general.
And they needed a little comic relief in this film, and
Yeah.
he provided most of it.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job playing this role, but I thought the character was really awkward because even at the beginning, I'm like, wait, is he just being kind or is he flirting with his brother's girlfriend? To me, it was like I couldn't figure him out. You know, he's giving her coffee at the car window. He's, oh, wait a minute, I'll go take care of her when she storms off
Yeah, that was weird.
and wrecks the car. Like, okay, you're going to go take care of her?
I think at the beginning, though, when he first saw her, right, I think there was that attraction. And so I think he was playing his character where he's just trying to help her out or make her feel comfortable when he knew no one else in the family.
Okay. He was just showing kindness,
Right,
not
yeah.
flirting with her.
Well, there may have been a little flirting in
Okay,
there
okay,
too, right?
Okay.
He called her pretty lady. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he's free-spirited. He's going to say what's on his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going to kind
He
of
played the role
play in the
well.
margins.
Yeah.
So a little outside the lines, that's his role. And then we had Amy Stone, played by Rachel McAdams. We know her from Mean Girls and Wedding Crashers and many more. She was the baby sister, kind of a petulant child, mama's baby. And
Spoiled
Brat.
brat. Yes.
I don't know, I tried to like her, but
I love her from like other movies, like The Notebook, or she's always like really sweet. So to see her like being like a mean brat.
I was trying to figure out her character. Like, why was she so mean? Like, what was the chip on her shoulder?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they alluded to it at the end where she really broke down with the picture of her mother pregnant with her, right?
Right.
She's like, oh, that's when I was pregnant with you. And she finally broke down. But I wasn't quite sure. Maybe they were trying to say she was being so mean because she was dealing with her mother's upcoming death, like the mother's sickness.
Did she know
maybe?
about it? Because
she had to. She's in the house.
Yeah, because I think she lives there. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she knew about it. So maybe that's what they were trying to play it off. I mean, that's what I saw at that moment. I was like, oh, are they trying to excuse her behavior? Because,
Yeah.
you know, and I get it. It gets a pass at that point, but I didn't catch that the first time I watched it.
Yeah, I thought Amy, like, she did play a brat. I think it may have been when she had dinner with her brother and Meredith in New York before,
yeah.
and she was complaining about how Meredith continued to talk. And then, of course, having her sleep on the couch and giving up the room to Meredith probably put her in a bad mood. But she was pretty much a brat the whole film. In a good way, though.
Till the end.
Yeah. I mean, she was the only one who still lived in the house. So.
But remember when Ben was hugging his mom and she's like, what's going on here? Like, she didn't know. Do you remember? I felt like that's when she didn't know that she had cancer.
Could be.
Maybe.
Spoiler alert.
Sorry.
No.
All right, we're almost through the characters. We'll get to the scenes in a minute. Other major star here, Sarah Jessica Parker plays Meredith Morton, the fiancée to be, the intended, I guess we would say. She was in Footloose, LA Story. She's known most for her Emmy Award-winning role as Carrie Bradshaw on Sex and the City. She is married to Matthew Broderick, and Matthew Broderick, by the way, was the star of our number 48 holiday film, Deck the Halls. Just a plug for that one.
Seen that.
They've been married a while, right?
I think so.
For
Like over
being
25 years or
two,
something.
you know,
Celebrities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I mean,
Speaking-
anything over 10 years is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
She was very annoying, right? I could see how the family didn't take to her or like her very well. Of course, it's a character, but when I first saw the movie a few years back, that was the thing that stood out the most was how annoying she was. But watching the film this time, I thought it was good acting because she was playing someone who was really annoying.
Wait, what was so annoying?
I didn't think she was annoying.
Just the way she dressed and was perfect.
She was, and I even think Ben had mentioned it in there. She was trying too hard. So trying to be perfect, maybe, or, they clearly had different views. But I think that she wasn't warm or friendly. She wouldn't hug. She was being too formal, like extending a hand for a shake rather than, giving a hug or being comfortable being hugged rather than really stiff.
All right, I'm going to play the devil's advocate on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're going to meet your boyfriend's family for the first time,
Right.
it's so awkward. Like, it's that feeling of,
Yeah.
do you shake hands or do we hug, even though we've never met each other, but you are the parents of my boyfriend? I don't know. It's just really awkward. So honestly, I felt sorry for her. You found that annoying, but I felt sorry for her.
I do
didn't
see.
think
I
she
can
was
see your point,
annoying.
though.
I didn't
Yeah.
think she was annoying. I thought she was weird, but I didn't think
Yeah.
she was annoying.
But they were all
There was
weird.
no reason. Yeah, true. But no reason to not like her. There was nothing. I think she was just being stiff and insecure.
I agree, and
seemed
she
pretty
was
insecure.
trying, but I would give her credit for trying. That's
I
better
know.
than just sitting on the sofa and not doing anything, or in my eyes.
And she didn't leave when things were bad.
Yeah.
She was
Right.
different culturally, maybe, than them. She was more of a
Yes.
city person,
Right.
and they were semi-suburban, rural. And they were just warmer, tighter type family, and she might come from a family where they aren't as affectionate.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, their house showed that they were a very tight-knit family.
Yeah, I feel like they knew everything about each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and then we'll just go to one more character, Julie, who is Meredith's sister, played by Clara Danes. And she comes in late in the film, but then plays a prominent role as we move through this menagerie of characters. What do you want to say about Julie?
Julie has no boundaries.
Actually, though, she tried. She put them up for a while,
Yeah, but
but then she quickly let them down, didn't
Yes, and when remember someone knocked at the door and she was so excited to open it.
Oh, at the end.
she? Yes, because
Yes.
it was the dad, but
It was the
she
dad,
really
but
thought
she-
it was Everest
Yeah.
coming
You
back.
you can have a crush.
Not on your sister's boyfriend.
Yeah, that's a
It's
no-no. I'm
weird.
sorry.
Well,
It's in the
It
girl
was.
code. I mean, maybe guys do that, but girls,
know.
No.
you do not cross
Yes.
that line.
Guys don't mind sharing.
Oh,
Not
my
sharing
God.
their exes. Do you mind if I date your ex? They're no, it's fine. I'm over it. Girls, never.
Girls is
you can't date
mm-mm.
someone I dated 20 years
No,
ago.
we hang on to things.
Yes.
so Julie, in contrast from Meredith, was warm, right? She smiled a lot. She just had a different personality. So,
But she's the sister. She had nothing to lose.
Right.
She's
Right.
not so uptight.
Not
Yeah.
trying to impress anybody.
yeah,
True.
she was being herself.
But I didn't like how they were so accepting of her. Overly accepting.
Right. I was trying to figure it out.
Me too.
Okay.
I think it was a mother's intuition.
Well, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And
it's
they
true.
made that clear. I mean, she said,
Yeah.
I mean, so she was sensing that for sure. Okay, well, let's go on. Let's move on to the scenes. So what do you think? What do we want to start with? You have a funniest scene?
I liked when Ben came to the car to give her coffee. Remember, and he was like
Oh.
stretching.
Oh, yeah. He's putting his
Yeah.
hand kind of in his waistband of
Yeah.
his jogging pant, or I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess they were
That was
pajama
funny.
pants. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah. That
Yeah,
was,
the humor was subtle in this film. It wasn't like major scenes. It was just
yeah.
little things along the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that kitchen scene was pretty funny when they were all slipping around and
Yeah, that was.
the food hit the floor.
Yeah. Even when Meredith would clear her throat when she was nervous, I forgot who it was. Maybe Amy said, what are you, digging for clams? Right. I don't know why that was so funny to me. But also, even when Ben walked out to the car and after she had crashed, backing in and out, and just kind of said, what seems to be the problem here, ma'am?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's the sheriff or something.
Yeah. I felt like Brad Stevenson was just funny and something about his look. And so every scene that Brad was in just had a lighter air about it.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
That was his role.
Yeah, that was another funny point where they were in the bar and then she said, you're Brad Stevenson? You popped Amy's cherry?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
Also, when they're sitting around the table at the family gathering and they're all playing a game to guess, let's guess what Merida's profession is. And they were trying to guess what, going around, speculating about her.
That is not a nice game.
No, it's not.
Though I have a most awkward moment. Probably the most awkward dinner in history.
Yes.
I mean, I just wanted to crawl under the couch, but I don't know how you all felt.
Yes, that was bad. And she wouldn't stop. She just kept going and saying things.
Digging and digging and digging.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when she was talking about the brother being gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just like, okay, enough is enough. And
I
she
know.
couldn't let it die. Just stop.
But maybe she had like said it wrong and she kept like trying to say it right, but she was kept saying it worse and worse. Maybe.
Yeah, but I would think after the second time, like, it's not getting better.
Yeah,
It's getting
just
worse.
stop.
Just stop.
Yeah. And one thing that I kind of noticed is she may have been more conservative and the family was more liberal. So she had her thoughts on maybe being gay. And even at the end, she said, wouldn't you want your kid to be normal? And I think that offended the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of the family there.
Absolutely.
And not wanting to share a bed. That's another sign of conservative.
But,
Yeah, or how it would appear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as Tim mentioned earlier, right, like she was from the city, raised differently, and this was a whole family that was raised differently also. And putting them together, there would be some dynamics, I'm sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was trying to figure out, why did they make that such a big deal? Amy was mad she had to give up her room, which, okay, I get.
Yeah.
But, like, the parents kind of rolling their eyes at it.
Probably because when those parents were kids,
They
you
know what
never
they were
would
doing.
have done that. And so they were trying to be modern, and
She
she
wouldn't
wasn't
take
going
it.
to be there.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
Yeah, that's weird. In my family, like, you could not sleep in the same room, even at 40, with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Is that where they're like, do it? That's weird that you're not. I'm like, what?
So what is
You're
this?
like, no, it's not.
I know. What?
So what's the saddest scene of all? What do y'all think? I mean, it is a sad movie.
Well,
As sad as they get.
I mean, of course, when we find out that, she's terminally ill, it's pretty like,
Yeah.
oh no, she's not going to be around much longer. That was sad.
Yeah, when she says, like, I won't be here to see if he makes a mistake, that was very sad.
Yeah. There were a few for me when Kelly and Ben were at the stadium and Ben had asked what's wrong with mom and Kelly had mentioned she's sick and she's been sick for a while. That was like a really sad moment. Another one was when Sybil was talking to Everett and she told him that I'm sick, honey.
Yeah.
And he broke down also and
In the kitchen.
yeah, that was a big moment. And then of course when Meredith gave the gifts out and then Sybil said to Amy, that's you and me, kid, right? And that was a big emotional moment for everyone.
Yeah.
Why did they cry about the picture? Because she was sick? Like, I wasn't.
I guess they could just see the end coming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was trying to figure it out too. And maybe it was because it was a picture of Sybil pregnant with Amy, right? Which was the baby of the
Right.
family. But yeah, that's when we finally saw, I don't know, maybe Amy kind of she broke down for the first time and was a little more human because she was so,
Was it so angry for a
yeah, she
minute?
was so angry the rest of them and kind of nasty to everybody. I was like, okay, then I saw, okay, well, maybe that's why it was hitting her the hardest.
I'm just glad that she got together with Brad before her mom left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her mom wanted that. I know. That's
Mom was happy.
And that's all thanks to Meredith.
yes, I know.
There you go.
You're
Right?
Brad Stevens?
True.
That's you and me, kid. Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed that it was Everett.
Thank you very much.
You did good. Meredith,
Meredith, we've got to.
Everett, please, I know what...
All right. We have any quotable lines we want to bring back?
I like when Meredith first shows up at the house and she tells, the mom that you have a lovely home. And
Yeah.
she automatically replies, why, the better to entertain you or something like that.
Like a witch.
Yeah. Or like the big bad wolf,
Yeah.
right? And it was kind of like telltale for what was coming.
Definitely.
Yeah.
One I noted was Everett saying to his dad, I expected a little more, at least of you.
Yeah.
That one hit me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
As a dad.
That was deep.
Because he was like the nicest one in the family and he wasn't being nice. I mean, he was okay.
He was the nicer one, but
Yes.
at that moment, he wasn't being exactly nice. Even though,
It's tough. You protect your kids. It's tricky.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Another one, Ben to Meredith, was, here's the thing, Meredith. You have a freak flag. You just don't fly it. That was in the trailer, too.
That was so good.
That's funny. Yeah, I guess we all kind of do in a way, right?
She hides hers
Well, some
well.
people fly it, but some
Yes.
people hide it. But we all have one.
Well, flagpoles are different lengths.
That's
Some
true.
fly it higher.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I just thought everyone in there was a little awkward in their own way, right?
Yes.
All the characters were a little awkward in their own way.
Well, the pregnant sister was, I guess she wasn't much. What was her name?
Susan,
Yeah, she wasn't awkward or anything. She was just kind of like, right?
she was the normal one.
Normal.
Yeah.
You got to have a normal one. You have 5 kids. At least one should be normal.
one of-
Right.
She
Gotta
was just like
balance it out.
kind and
I mean, Everett was pretty normal.
yeah, he was.
Meredith made him unnormal or abnormal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they weren't right for each other. Apparently, it was his sister or her sister.
Oh, the family knew it from the moment they saw her.
I mean, I couldn't see it, but I guess because we didn't know a lot about his character, I was like, what is so wrong with her? Like,
Yeah, I
I
didn't
get she's
either.
uptight and all that, but like, if he's in love with her, he's in love with her. But I guess they could see
Yeah.
he wasn't really in love with her.
I didn't think he was.
Apparently, he wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't. Well, and the brother was like, "You don't even love her."
I know, like,
But
they,
I
I guess
couldn't
they saw
tell.
that, but
I didn't see
yeah,
that.
me either.
Well, sometimes you can look at a couple, right, and go, like, if it's your family, I would probably say, doesn't seem your type. Like, what do you
Yeah.
see, right? And, who knows? But
Right.
And the comment was, is he trying to just get married so that it'll all be all right before I die? That was,
Yeah, but did he know? Because she told
Well, didn't
him,
he?
right?
The dad said, like, when they were looking at rings, "Is this all about mom?" And he said, "Yes." Right? Is that what he was talking about?
Yeah, I know. I thought it was weird, but then on Christmas Day, she says, I'm sick, and it's not. So I was trying to
Oh,
figure
yeah,
that
he
all
didn't-
out. He didn't really know ahead of time.
yeah, I think it was like
Maybe he
in
felt-
remission, out of remission. And they knew eventually.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they said she had been sick a while, but I don't know. I was trying to figure that one out, of like what he was. Why was he with her then,
Yeah.
If everyone could see it wasn't true love.
Well, sometimes we stick with guys
Because
And
it's comfortable.
Not true love, and all your friends are like, until
So-
you meet the one.
Right. So maybe you think you are
Yeah.
in love, but everyone knows but you.
And then you meet the sister, and you're like, oh. This is true love.
Wait, there's better.
What did y'all think of The Ring itself?
It's nice.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I don't remember.
I don't remember it being like,
It looked old-fashioned, right? Yeah.
was it small? Didn't she say like?
Well, according to
this is
Meredith,
it?
it was too small.
Yeah, I thought that was so funny. She was like, oh, the way she reacted to it when she
That's
saw
it.
it.
Well, it was the grandmother's ring.
Right.
They didn't make them that big back then.
Really? When did they start making them big?
About 1970.
True. But then it was kind of like, well, I felt like Amy, when she was in the EMS with, what's his name?
Brad Stevenson.
Brad Stevenson, yes. And it was kind of a romantic moment. She gets a snow globe from him, and she's like, oh, it's so nice. But then she's worried about what's going on around. Where's he going? Remember, they see them run out, and then they take the car. Where's the car going? You know, I'm just like, you're so ruining the
I
moment.
know.
Like, if you reacted that way, okay, I just gave you a gift, and then you're pulling it aside and worrying about what's going on outside
Yeah.
instead of within.
True. I'd be offended.
Yes. All right. The moral. Okay. The moral of the story, I'm thinking, is it's about embrace life's challenges and cherish the moments together. And it also brings in the theme of acceptance of others. What do y'all think? Y'all agree with me?
Yes. I thought the family was very, besides to Meredith, but they were very accepting of like their weird family, and like, you know, they accepted their little group.
Because let's face it, you can't deny it. Everyone's got the crazy in their families. Sometimes
That's
it's more of
true.
a show
Yeah.
than other families. Sometimes you got the family that you just get to sit back and see the show at the
Yeah.
holidays, right? But they were accepting of each other because they each had their own differences.
Yeah.
Right.
And they were like very kind to each other.
Yeah, I think it definitely yelled out that we're family no matter what, right?
Yeah. When I think of the moral of the story, like that's a really good question because I didn't think about that at all until you just brought it up. To me, it's like a big holiday film where family comes together. And of course, there are a lot of family dynamics. But I think the underlying story is that the mom, Sybil, was sick. And so they kind of tied the movie around that. But the movie had like a full range of emotions. Like I laughed, you know, I thought there were moments that were really sad. And I had a huge smile at certain points. So it really, like I didn't think much of the film the first time, but I thought it was really good for a holiday film.
Because you have a range of emotions.
Yeah.
You went from laughing to crying to feeling awkward and
Yeah.
uncomfortable for them. Yeah, I agree. All those emotions.
Yeah, I'm thinking it could be that true love will find you in the end, and you don't know where it'll come from. For Everett, anyway.
Yeah.
And Ben.
And then
Well, and
Very
the-
true, Monica.
we'll get to that in hot takes.
Yeah, and the family stays together through thick and thin, right? And even
Right.
at the end, the family was there a year later, all together.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, they all came back.
They did.
Well, let's move on to hot takes. Does anyone have any?
Like that you shouldn't switch sisters
Or brothers.
or brothers. Yes. Yeah, I don't know. It was good. It wasn't corny, so that's good, right?
Right.
Like a lot of Christmas movies, I feel like Netflix is like pushing them out, and they're so corny now.
Or Hallmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, like, this was a good, wholesome movie.
It's interesting you bring up Hallmark because at the end, we did see a little of fighting for the true love when he goes to get Julie at the bus stop.
Yes.
You
And
know,
it
it was kind of
stops.
like going back. But you're right. I didn't find it corny and it wasn't too much, but I saw a little bit relatable to.
Yeah. To Hallmark.
Yeah. A
Yeah, but-
little.
Where the bus stops and
Yeah.
reverse.
At the bus stop with Julie, that was one of the moments where I smiled a lot is when she asked him, you know, do you have any plans for things or New Year's, right? And I thought that was really great. It's kind of a romance
I know,
movie
but why
in
are
that
people
sense.
like cheering for him to be with the sister? Like it just was so weird to me. And
That
the
was
family,
bothering you.
It was.
They
It's
wanted
like
love.
disturbing.
And the family's like just accepting of it. Like the dad's driving him to the bus stop. So like,
Everett and Meredith were not in love, and so he found love. It just happened to be
So weird.
Meredith's sister.
Yeah, my hot take is that Ben and Meredith would not have really lasted more than 6 months.
Yeah, that's true.
But they're opposites. Sometimes opposites attract and stay together forever.
Not forever, short term.
But you know what? He had a calming effect on her. I think she
Yeah.
responded well to him, and she wasn't as uptight.
Well, she was dressed different in the end.
I did
her
notice that
outfit
too.
was like not as uptight. And,
Or
Yeah,
remember
hair
the
wasn't
director.
slicked
yeah,
back.
she had it like wavy
Yeah.
and down.
The director was a fashion guy, remember?
Yep.
Oh yeah. But he loosened her up, like no tight ponytail, no business suit.
Jacket. Yeah. And then at the end, the hair was down and it was more of like a t-shirt.
like a boat neck. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you notice that, Tim?
I did not notice the boat neck.
Really?
What is a boat neck?
How could you
It's
not?
like the one like a sailing shirt that's like
It like
for
goes
girls,
straight
yeah.
instead of rounded. It's more
Yeah.
straight
Okay.
at the collar.
Not
Today I learned boat neck.
It's not a mock turtleneck. It's a
No.
boat
No,
neck. Okay.
Okay, the parent guide. It's PG-13, and I think that's probably appropriate because there is talk about smoking pot and
popping cherries.
Yeah, and popping cherry. Yeah, it should be PG-13.
Not a lot of bad words either, right?
No,
It's pretty mild.
no.
It was right on.
So do you think it should be PG instead of PG-13?
I think PG-13 these days are like pretty bad. But like I would watch that movie in front of my kids.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
'cause
no
they wouldn't
sex.
know
And your
what-
kids are
no
younger.
drugs.
Yes.
Like, what grade is your daughter in?
Third.
Okay, third grade.
Because she wouldn't get like
Because it would
popping
go over
cherries.
her
Yeah,
head.
exactly.
Yeah,
She'd be like, what?
got you.
And like there's not like kissing or
Yeah, no vulgar language that I
which
remember.
is hard to find these
Okay.
days.
Right, true.
Yeah, I think they're like the only maybe intense scene was at the dinner table, right?
Yeah.
But other than that,
But I think like PG is for kids, so it's not a for kid movie. But I wouldn't mind watching it. when
Yeah,
my
I think
kid's in the
PG-13.
room.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
not like come watch this movie with me.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if they were 7 or 8, it might prompt some questions you'd have to answer.
right?
So be prepared. All right, let's move on to the soundtrack. We open up with Let It Snow, performed by Dean Martin. Always the right way to open a film, Dean Martin. And it had assorted regular holiday songs along the way, not a ton. And then the one that stuck out to me was Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, sung by Judy Garland. It's on the TV when, was it Susan and Amy are kind of hanging out, maybe Christmas Eve, and they're watching the movie Meet Me in St. Louis. That is where that song debuted. So that was a new song when that movie came out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Huh, interesting.
That's cool.
And that film, Meet Me in St. Louis, will be featured in a future episode of Holiday Film Countdown. So stay tuned.
Cool.
I thought the movie when it started with the Christmas song was going to be like, oh, this is all Christmas. But the soundtrack was not all Christmas music. What was the one in the bar where she said, oh, this is my song? And it's not Miracles, I don't think. But
It's in the trailer too.
That's it. I can't think of the name of it. It's like, all right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Get right back to...
To where we started
Started
from.
from.
So it wasn't just a holiday soundtrack. There were a blend of different types of music.
Yes.
I didn't notice a lot of music.
There wasn't a ton.
No.
That was a pretty quiet house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music wise.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Monica. If we have to rate this film from 1 to 5, what would you rate it and why?
And keep in mind, it's a 3.1 on Letterboxd. And you can do decimals.
Out of 5.
Thanks. I liked it. It was a 4.
Okay.
I liked it. I didn't because, as you know, I had a problem with the ending. But I think it was a really good movie. I liked the characters, loved the setting. So yeah, 4.
All right, and Tim, 1 to 5, what are you thinking here? And why?
I would do a 4 also. Like, I thought it was a really good Christmas movie, right? It had family dynamics. Even the setting within the house, right? It seemed like it was a house that they had lived in for 30 years. It was kind of cluttered. There was, like, a lot of pictures on the walls and, throw
Stuff.
pillows all over the right?
Yeah,
Like
it was
It
fun.
felt lived in.
Very.
knickknacks all over the place, but
Yep.
there's a full range of emotions, which to me is really good. Like I thought there was good acting. I didn't think that was anyone overacting or just kind of playing a role that didn't do much, right? I thought it had a story that kind of flowed. But yeah, I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
All right. I'm going to give it a 3.5
Wow.
because I feel like the acting was good and I like the twist to the story. I appreciate that. But when I'm watching a Christmas film, I want to feel good.
That's a good point.
And I am leaving this crying. I know. I can't
Yeah.
help it. But to me, it was a tearjerker. I cry
was.
easily. I know. I cry easily. I'm a little sentimental and it got to me. And during the Christmas holiday spirit, I want to feel joy.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to go with a 3.3.
Ooh.
I feel like I'm comparing it, remember, to the ones above it and the ones below it. And we've got a long way to go. And I don't know that we ever hit 5 in this countdown. So,
Not yet.
not yet. So, 3.3, great cast, flowed well, kept me entertained. Anything above a 3 in this countdown is good.
Tim, what was your favorite moment in the movie?
You know, I have to say it's probably when Everett just finally realizes where he needs to be
Yeah.
for his own good and for his family's good.
Yeah.
If I had to pinpoint it, that's the moment.
Jamie, what about you?
I feel like maybe, I don't know if it's my favorite, but one that sticks out was when Meredith was like, all right, I've had enough. I'm going to the hotel. And I was
Yeah.
like, way to go. Stand up for yourself. They're going
Yeah.
to treat you like that. You know, you're not leaving the whole Christmas thing, but I get the feeling I'm not welcome. I'm going to go stay in the hotel.
So she made a move, but it wasn't a terminal move.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
I
it
respected that.
It wasn't like too dramatic. It was like setting boundaries. and,
Right.
like, yeah.
Okay. Amy, you can have your bed back.
Yeah.
You know, the good point about that is that she came back and it's like she
Yeah.
was refreshed because she
Exactly.
was, I don't
Because she was making breakfast.
Yes.
or
Aw,
she took the
tried
coffee
to.
pot off of where it should always be.
That's right.
But she was trying to help and
That's
and
true.
be there.
True.
Yeah.
All right. So, Monica, who would you recommend it to anyone? And if so, who would you recommend to watch this film?
Yeah, I'd recommend it to Christmas movie lovers.
All right.
I liked it.
And Tim, would you recommend it, and to whom and why?
Yes, I would recommend this movie. It's a really good Christmas movie, right? To Jamie's point earlier, you're not smiling and laughing the whole time, walking out feeling like you're on top of the world, right? Because it is sad. There are some moments in there that that are hard for some people to watch. But there's such a good ensemble of characters, and they mix really well. And I think that it's entertaining, right? And you do have the full range of emotions. And so, like, I would recommend it. Yeah, I would even watch it again myself. And I don't watch movies over again very often.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm going to comment on what Tim said, and maybe I'm putting too much of my emotional side to me when I watch that film because I am a mother, and I have lost my mother. So maybe I shouldn't look at it. Maybe I shouldn't take it so so hard because it is a good story. I get it. The writing is good. I feel like the writing is good. But I would recommend this film. I would recommend it to maybe like watch with your girlfriend or
Yeah.
maybe with your sister. I don't know if it's a whole family kind of show because I feel like with my family, I want to watch a feel-good film, and I feel like this didn't leave me feeling that great, even though I do appreciate the talent and I appreciate the writer. So maybe I might say, well, maybe this is a film that you might watch with your girlfriend or your sister with a glass or a bottle of wine.
Yeah, that's true. It depends on the mood
And
you're
maybe I'm
in.
thinking of me and my my sister and I. I don't know.
I would recommend it to someone who's looking for maybe a modern take on a classic story. So it's got modern elements with a traditional setting, And I would say probably someone maybe in their 20s or 30s would really enjoy this film. And I'd watch it again with the right people. It's not going to be every year in the rotation, but every once in a while. It was a little bit longer, and so you're probably not going to get everyone to sit still that long unless they're captive, in a sense, like in a theater or in a particular setting. People will come and go if the movie's more than an hour and a half.
Yeah, I don't know that a 13 or 14-year-old is going to sit these days.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it had funny moments, but it's not a comedy, it's a drama.
Correct.
Right? And so you have to be in the mood
True.
for that type of... If you want to sit back and veg out and laugh, this is not really the movie to see.
You're right.
Yeah, buckle up. It's not light.
No.
Okay, Monica, what is your favorite holiday film?
I like The
Big
Holiday.
question. The Holiday. Okay.
That's come up here before.
Oh, it has.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it your favorite?
I just like the concept where they switch. You know, who hasn't wanted to like leave your home and switch your life with someone else and then have like this amazing holiday?
A little different switch than we had here.
Yes, definitely. Not that kind of switch.
Okay.
Just a full life switch. Change houses.
All right. And Tim, what is your favorite holiday film?
You know, I have a lot of favorite holiday films.
But you're on an island and you get to pick one.
I know. Well, Home Alone has always been kind of my go-to. And actually, even the home and kind of the setting of The Family Stone reminded me of Home Alone. Like, I felt like Home Alone 1, right? I have to say Home Alone 1 because I have asked other people, and they've picked Home Alone 2 over Home Alone 1.
I've heard that, too.
I do like the new Grinch, the Illumination movie, The Grinch, because the colors are really vibrant and it's just a fun holiday movie. But I don't know, that's a tough one. You know what? Can it be a series?
3.
I like Dash and Lily on Netflix. It's like an 8-part series. It's one of those coming of age stories,
teenage
right?
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. I like that. I would recommend that for people who have a little bit more time than an hour and a half.
So you have a favorite holiday film and you have a favorite holiday series.
I do, yeah. And
right.
my favorite holiday is Christmas.
Yes.
All right, there we go.
He is obsessed with Christmas movies.
Well, not obsessed,
A
but
little.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, well, thank you for joining our discussion for our 42nd ranked film, The Family Stone. Please like, follow, and comment on this podcast.
Yes, please share and spread the word about Holiday Film Countdown. Thank you, Monica and Tim, for joining us. And thanks to all of our listeners. Next week, we're moving on to our 41st ranked holiday film, which will take us to New York and New Jersey in that order. Thank you.
hashtag holiday film countdown.
Thanks.